Good afternoon, everybody. Next week, we kick off our Mastermind Sessions. So this is one of my favorite parts of the program. It's also usually one of the highest rated because it really helps our founders kind of accelerate to achieve their OKRs and move their commercialization forward. So I wanted to give you a quick kind of overview of what is the basis of a mastermind and how do you prepare to come to these sessions kind of moving forward. So let's first talk about what is the construct behind a mastermind. So a mastermind group is simply a meeting of highly motivated individuals who are sharing a common goal and are looking to encourage and help each other improve. So it's bringing together you as a collective group of people, all sharing that objective to bring your products to market with success and efficiency, and sharing on the ideas on how best to do that. In Kevin's more simple post-it notes, visual terms, I like to think of it as AI, so augmented intelligence. It's this idea that if you go by yourself, you will eventually get to the finish line. However, if you can bring in this alliance and use this force of multiple minds thinking of solutions to your problems, you can pull that timeline backwards and get to a solution faster. So I've shared with my clients that a mastermind is a bit of CEO training. So as a CEO, you're frequently sharing your messages within limits amounts of time. You have to extract information and resources from others effectively, and you have to drive toward progress and accomplishment. And that's what a mastermind is set to do. In this slide, we can look at some of the forms of CEO training that come out of a mastermind session. So champion building, that's looking at building your muscle and networking and influence. Collaboration, that's looking at teamwork and synergy. It's time bound, you need to be efficient and clear. Open exchange, there are no NDAs signed in a mastermind group. It's your job to figure out how to freely share insights and advice without the formal agreements or legalities. Active listening. You have to have empathy and understanding. You have to provide constructive feedback. So this is a two-way street. You're giving to get inside the group. And gratitude, maybe one of the most important. How do you say thank you when someone gives you a resource, gives you a connection, or opens a door? So let's talk about a little bit about what it means to be a member of a mastermind group. So again, you have accountabilities coming into a mastermind group. You have accountabilities as to what you're going to share, and you have accountabilities to the other members of the group. Here are the principles that kind of back up a powerful mastermind group. So you're bringing in focus. You've identified OKRs, critical challenges. That's what you're bringing into this group to focus on. Empathy, people are going to share things that are uncomfortable, and you want to demonstrate concern and respect for them sharing that openness. Receptivity, you need to be an active listener. Constructive, when you provide feedback. Look to be positive in presenting that criticism. And complete. Challenging. You want to push each other to raise the bar. You're all trying to move forward and reach that finish line. You want to be engaged, not on your other devices, not with other technologies, not with other people. Pick a time when when you come to the mastermind session, make sure that you're focused. Be supportive. This concept of have each other's back, and then appreciative. Value the insight you get, and always say thank you. So a few more characteristics of the mastermind group. You have commitments to each other, and we consider them kind of rules. So your attendance is prioritized, should be prioritized for participation in the mastermind group. This is important. This is one of the reasons we kind of called it out in our founders agreement as being one of those areas that we really need your dedicated focus kind of moving forward. We want you to be fully present. I want you to support each other with honesty, respect, and compassion. We don't sign NDAs, but we do expect you to keep the conversations that happen in the mastermind group in the mastermind group. And then make sure that your technology and other distractions are out of the way when your session kicks off. We'll also be looking to enforce this idea that it's time bound. So this is one of the bigger CEO training elements, is time is precious. And your VCs think of it that way, your partners think about it that way, your patients think about it that way. Value time and use it very efficiently. So we will be working to start on time and end on time. We want you to come to these meetings prepared to efficiently use your time. We don't want you relying on others to manage your time for you. And once again, and you'll hear me say this often, express gratitude for the time being given. If you're finding you're having difficulty sticking within the times allocated, take some time on your own to work on those efficiencies and discuss with your client director some strategies as to how to make that happen. The agendas in a mastermind meeting are very consistent, meeting to meeting. The only exception to that is the very first meeting, where you need to inform others and give them some background about what you're working on and what are your challenges. In subsequent meetings, we'll start with a check-in, and the check-in will ask you your kind of emotion and energy level coming into the meeting. We have an icebreaker, which will be a fun way to kind of discover a bit about yourself and hear about your colleagues. Then you'll get your time. You'll have 15 minutes at each session with the goal of coming with an ask relative to your OKRs to help move forward. We'll follow up with accountabilities, and this is kind of what do you need to accomplish before the next meeting, and what are the consequences if that is not achieved. We'll do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll close out for the day. And those sessions tend to move quite quickly as we go through. So let's talk a bit about what session number 1 looks like, because that's next week, and we do want to make sure that you come prepared for that meeting. So you will have 15 minutes. At the first session, slides will be allowed. So in session number 1, your focus is an introduction. We want you to come prepared to share your company introduction, whether that's your Jeffrey Moore positioning statement or your sloppy copy from the pitch workshop this past week. We want you to outline the 2 to 3 OKRs that you created to accelerate your progress. We want you to share those key outcomes that are essential for you to achieve in the next 90 to 180 days. So the way to think about those is if I were to accomplish these 2 to 3 things before I left this program, I would be feeling really good about my place in development. We'll ask you to share some of the consequences if your outcomes are not achieved. Now your peer group, when you're in the audience and you're listening to somebody else, it's your job to prepare some clarifying why questions about the proposed OKRs and the challenges that are being shared. If you have some initial ideas or resources or connections, you share these with the founders. But the first session is really making sure that you understand what your peers are working on and what the challenges are they're trying to address through their OKRs. When we look at the subsequent mastermind sessions, the format will be very consistent session to session, as I mentioned. So you'll be, again, allocated 15 minutes. In those sessions, we will not allow you to have slides. We want you to engage in dialogue and connecting with your peers. What we want you to come prepared to share is progress against your OKRs and your stated accountabilities, any new wins or milestones since the last session, and what is your ask. And we'll go through in a minute what the structure of an ask should be. If you're in the peer group, the listening group, your job is to ask clarifying and why questions about the OKR progress and whether they were or accountabilities were or were not met. We want you to brainstorm ideas, resources, connections that will help this founder achieve their goals and overcome the challenges. So I want to provide a format that you can use to shape your ask, because when you get into these later sessions, you want to get to that ask as quickly as you can. Of your 15-minute allocation, you want to try and make sure as much of that time as possible is available for people to give you ideas in response to the challenge that you've stated. So first, you want to state what is your challenge. So what is 1 to 2 sentences? What is the concern, the opportunity, the recurring problem? Why is it becoming more troublesome? You want to state why it is significant. What is the impact on your revenue, your people, products, services, future? What happens if you cannot resolve this? Then restate your OKR outcome. How did you frame out the outcome you want to achieve in that 90 to 120 days? share a little bit of relevant background on the problem and the challenge, and then ask specifically, what is the help that you want? What do you want from the group? Do you want alternative solutions? Do you want confidence that you're going the right way? Do you want to find more information? Do you want a critique of your plan? Do you want connections? Ask that clearly so the group is best positioned to help. So let's run through 2 quick examples of how you could use this format to prepare for an upcoming mastermind session. So the first, my challenge is we need to build a robust team, but are finding it difficult to attract talent. It's significant because without a strong team, we cannot progress our product development and scale our operations. This will delay our timeline, reduce our competitive edge, and impact to secure funding. My ideal outcome is to hire a chief scientific officer and 2 senior engineers within the next 120 days. The relevant background: our startup focuses on developing a biodegradable stent for cardiovascular applications. We have a small team of 5, including myself, covering business development, initial product design. The challenge started 6 months ago when we began actively seeking additional members to accelerate our R&D efforts. We've used job boards and recruitment agencies in our network with limited success. What have I done to this point? I've defined the role and responsibility of the position. I've reached out to recruitment agencies. I've posted the job on industry-specific job boards and tapped into personal and professional networks. The help I want from the group: I want strategies to attract top talent, advice on competitive compensation packages for early startups, recommendations for effective recruiting channels, and introduction to potential candidates or recruiters specializing in the life sciences sector. So you can see that just took me a couple minutes to get through that description, and I'm able to kind of move on from there. So another example. The challenge we are facing is difficulty in securing our first round of funding. It is significant because without funding, we cannot move forward with our product development, marketing, and team expansion plans. This puts our entire project at risk, affecting our timelines, growth potential, and ability to make a market impact. My ideal outcome is to secure $1 million in seed funding within the next 180 days. Relevant background: we're developing a novel drug delivery system that improves the efficacy and safety of chemotherapy treatments. The challenge started 3 months ago when we began our fundraising efforts. We have pitched to several investors, but we have not received any commitments. The key players are including our founding team, potential investors, and advisors. What I've done up to this point is created a detailed business plan and pitch deck, reached out to numerous investors, attended pitch events, and sought feedback on our pitch and our business model. The help I want from the group is feedback on our pitch deck, introductions to potential investors, advice on how to improve our pitch, insights into what investors are looking for in early stage startups, and any tips for standing out in a competitive funding environment. So these 2 examples really show you can move through that ask quite quickly and retain most of your time to get your feedback. And that's what you're looking to do. So a couple quick points before we wrap up. So first is, while you're talking, your facilitator, who is the client director that's leading your group, will be your note taker. So they will be looking to kind of quickly capture the elements that relate to your company as you go through the discussion, including what were the expertise, resources, and connections volunteered by the group. They'll also be looking to capture what were the accountabilities you shared and what are the consequences if those accountabilities are not reached. And then your ratings coming into the meeting and exiting the meeting, and your word to describe each session. And you'll get this following each session to kind of keep you in the loop as to action items and where people promised help for you to move forward. So we asked our previous cohort to share with us some descriptive words about their experience in the mastermind session. We threw those in a Wordle, and this is our chart that came up. Now, the devil and the advocate work together, and that's a great thing. This is a great group to play that kind of devil's advocate type role and provide constructive criticism. But you can see the other words here: the brainstorming the insight, the value, the challenge, the solutions, the accountabilities, the possibilities, the benefits. All are very positive, constructive words in terms of the support you get by being an active participant in a mastermind group. So kind of wrapping up from there, a quote from Simon Sinek that success is a team sport. And probably nowhere is that more true than a life science founder role. This is one of the most complex, difficult journeys that a founder can take in the life science world. And so having others that have your back, that know your interests and can help support you and be there as your champion moving forward is a huge plus. So with that, if we were live, I would take some questions. But what I'd like you to do is if you do have a question, I want you to share it into the Slack channel. That way I can answer the question, others can see the response, and we can make sure that we get these questions covered so we're best ready to go. So really look forward to next week. I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit, and you're going to get a lot out of it, but also be prepared to put a lot into it, and the experience will be pretty amazing. Have a great weekend.